The New York Knicks are protesting the loss that they had to the Houston Rockets last night after Aaron Holiday's controversial foul, where Jalen Brunson apparently fouled him on a three-pointer, giving Aaron Holiday the chance to put the Rockets up with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. So we're going to break this situation down because this could have a huge impact on the New York Knicks season and where they end up finishing in the Eastern Conference. So let's do this. Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video today because we got a lot to talk about. According to Woj, who just tweeted it out, the Knicks are filing a protest with the NBA to dispute the 105-103 loss to the Houston Rockets on Monday. Both the NBA's last 2 minutes report and crew chief Ed Malloys, so the head of the referees that were refereeing the game, acknowledged the foul call on Brunson, leading to Aaron Holiday's 2 winning free throws that were incorrectly called. Okay, so obviously that's huge, but there's even bigger news than that. Like, we all know the whole thing where Brunson didn't foul him. That was not a foul. That was a horrific call. A ton of people thought so. We'll get into that a little bit too. But the big news here is that the New York Knicks and the Houston Rockets are not scheduled to play again this season, as they already had their MSG game. But the hope would be to win the protest and play an overtime period to complete the game. Only 6 protests in league history have been upheld. An NBA team has 48 hours to file a protest with the league office and 5 days to provide evidence of the protested action. After that, the league office has 5 more days to make a decision. So obviously that is just as huge. And then here's what Ed Malloy said, which is the reason why this could be a very real scenario for the Knicks. So there were questions about the foul, obviously, and they were asking Ed Malloy, and essentially they asked, why was there a shooting foul called on Jalen Brunson against Aaron Holiday? And Malloy said in live action, it was felt that the lower body contact was illegal contact, which, side note, I actually thought was the case too initially. Rewatching it a million times, I have changed my mind. And then Fred Katz asked them, after seeing the replay, do officials believe it was a correct call? And what Ed Malloy said word for word is, after seeing it during the post-game review, the offensive player was able to return to a normal playing position on the floor. The contact which occurred after the release of the ball, therefore, is incidental and marginal to the shot attempt and should not have been called. So Ed Malloy, the head referee, the crew chief of that game, does not believe that that was a foul on Jalen Brunson. That is a pretty good reason to grant this essential appeal valid. I think this is valid. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Knicks fan. I genuinely think this is a valid case here. Because it's not just like, oh, that looked like it shouldn't have been a foul. Let's review it 10 million thousand times and watch nothing change. No, this is a situation where instantly after the game, Ed Malloy, who was really the one in charge, said, no, it wasn't a foul, bad call. We screwed that one up really badly. That obviously changed the impact of the game. And while the Houston Rockets are fighting for a play-in spot in the Western Conference, which is also very close, the New York Knicks are one of the best teams in the East, and they want to get a top 2 seed. They want to play against a play-in team, and that could really screw the Knicks over with how close this conference is. That loss matters. So I would love if the Knicks could go back to Houston for a 5-minute overtime that has no fans in the building. And hey, if they lose, oh well, we still have the loss on our record. But if we win that game, that changes a lot of things for the Knicks, especially when considering if the Knicks go do this, say, later in the season in like March or April, Julius Randle and OG Anunoby and potentially Mitchell Robinson will all be there, not to mention Isaiah Hartenstein, who missed that game. Obviously, the Knicks are better than the Houston Rockets. No one's disputing that. But the Rockets obviously had an easy matchup against the Knicks because of all the injuries. And with that in mind, I think that the New York Knicks would win in an overtime game. I think they'd be fired up. Jalen Brunson is the most clutch player on that court. I do think in a 5-minute one-off, Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks, especially a more healthy version of the New York Knicks, are 100% going to win that game. Doesn't matter if it's in Houston. Doesn't matter if it's in New York. Doesn't matter if it's on some street ball court. It doesn't matter if it's an NBA 2K. The Knicks will find a way to win. That is who they are. They are a competitive team. They thrive off of that. They have veteran experience. And again, they're just better than the Rockets at full health. I think they would win that series. Now, Ben Stiller also was very upset, and he is probably our most famous Knicks fan, maybe Spike Lee, one of the two, who cares? Not me right now. You can't call that awful officiating. And then Space City Sports, who's, I guess, a Rockets Twitter account, shout out to them, said, don't foul then, to which Ben Stiller said Brunson was fouled the entire game. Refs had no control of the game. That is very true. Jalen Brunson got fouled all the time, and despite the fact that the New York Knicks drove to the hoop more and took more shots in the paint, they only took 11 free throws. Meanwhile, the Rockets took 33. So the game was poorly officiated. Could I say, yeah, maybe it was rigged, but I don't know how it would be rigged. I didn't think prior to this video, let me say that it's rigged, even if I don't believe that, and come up with some ludicrous excuse and then get people riled up in the comments. No, I don't think it was rigged. I think it was just really shitty officiating, and that happens, and you just kind of have to deal with that sometimes. Like, it sucks for us, but now we're in the situation, we're in the era of replaying everything, making sure everything was right. And now, because the refs are on our side, well, with the exception of Jason Goebel, obviously, with the refs on our side, the Knicks should win this appeal. That would be huge for them. I want to see this overtime. That would be so exciting. Also, something else just to take note of, because this is the NBA after all, they're a business, and the owners also want to make their money, and the players want to make their money. Money is very powerful in the NBA and all sports. That would probably do crazy revenue if you did that on like All-Star Weekend, or you did that at the end of the season to hype people up for playoffs. Just a 5-minute overtime. Score 0-0, 5 minutes to show who truly deserves to win that basketball game. That would be super exciting. It would be great press for the Rockets because it would be in Houston. It would be a cool event to do, whether you're going to have fans or not. You could definitely make a ton of money off that. And they're playing against the most marketable team outside of maybe the Lakers in the NBA. The Knicks are good right now, which makes them as marketable as anywhere in the league because they are stationed in the media capital of the world in New York. That would make the NBA a ton of money. Or they could get crazy with it, go back to Vegas and do it there. Would that be stupid? Yeah, but who knows? If it's going to make you money, the NBA is going to consider it. So I think the NBA is going to give the Knicks this approval. This is not me being biased. I genuinely think it makes the most sense. It's going to be a huge boost in entertainment. I'm thinking of this from a business side. The NBA is going to make a lot of money off this, and it's going to get crazy media coverage, which leads to more money. So I think this is going to happen because this league is very financially based in a lot of ways, and also because the crew chief, Ed Malloy, genuinely said, yeah, that was a foul, and we screwed that one up. And I think that's a huge part of it. And if you look at what some other fans had to say, Precious Achiuwa said that was nasty work. Kendrick Perkins said the official just messed up a good-ass basketball game. That was a BS call on Brunson at the end of the Knicks-Rockets game. Stand-up comedian Sam Morrill, who's a diehard Knicks fan, said, I hope I'm not overreacting when I say the refs who just cost the Knicks that game should not only be fired from the NBA, I want them out of the country. So yeah, obviously a lot of people, and then Ben Stiller, as we already saw. We had a lot of people upset. And Knicks fans are loud, and we will very much always make our opinion heard, whether it's in our own circles or in NBA circles, or just at some random event. Like, I'll always just bring up the Knicks and some gala. I'm not going to galas. Look at me. I'm in a trashy hoodie from college and a Knicks beanie. But I do like the hat, so there's that. But for real, guys, this is obviously a crazy situation. I think it's going to all work out well for the Knicks because I think this game's going to happen, or this overtime's going to happen, because it'll make the NBA a ton of money, and there's a genuinely good reason to do it outside of that, which is it's the right call because the Knicks deserve that, since Brunson didn't foul Aaron Holiday. And if you want more Knicks Digest content or Knicks content in general, make sure you're subscribed, like this video, comment down below what you think. Would you like to see this happen? Give me some crazy ideas on how the NBA can make money off this, as this is what, one of the biggest drivers to why I think this will happen. Have a great day, guys, and go Knicks.